This is the standard. This is Stretford. Welcome back to the wheel.
The server is reacting. 798 of you clocked the Dorgu breach in under 12 hours. The 325 architecture that uninstalled Arsenal at the Emirates is officially redlining. But here's where the data gets interesting. I ran the diagnostic poll to see how you'd patch the systems, and the results are unoptimized. 67% of you are screaming for the Mason Mount overlay, stabilizing the mid-block with work rate. 33% want the Arnab shift, forcing our creative hardware into uncomfortable wide positions. But the most lethal option, the Cunha hijack, 0%. You're sleeping on the logic that actually saves the season. Today, we decompile the fan favorite patches, look at the academy ghost options, and I'll show you why Arnab patch, the 0% solution, is the only way to survive Fulham's transition traps. The recalibration starts now. Okay, let's start with the heavy hitter, the Mason Mount overlay at 67%. Yeah, I understand the instinct. Mount is a high intensity software. He is a defensive transition specialist, you can say. In a post-Dorgu world, you're scared of the counterattack and you want Mount to be the firewall. But here is the structural glitch. Mount is a central processor forced into a wide port. If you play him on the left of the 325, you lose the chaos variable. Dorgu wasn't just a runner. Under Carrick, he was unleashed as the touchline broadcaster who forced the opponent's entire defensive line to stretch. Mount drifts inward by default. When he does that, the system compresses. You might stay safer in the mid block, but you're trading a tactical dagger for a heavy shield. You'll stop Fulham from scoring, but you won't uninstall their defense. Then we have the 33% calling for the Arnab shift, moving Arnab to the left wing and slotting Mbomo or on the right. On paper, it keeps the speed hardware active, but Arnab is a right-sided architect. His entire logic is built on cutting inside on his favored left foot to find the Bruno pocket. Forcing him to the left wing to provide Dorgu style width is a suboptimal port. You're asking a playmaker to become a touchline hugger. We've seen that script before. It's like trying to run high-end graphics on integrated software. It works, but it lags. We aren't just looking for someone to stand there, we are looking for someone to dominate the 1v1. If Arnab is on the left, Fulham's two-footed Timothy Castagne is going to have the easiest afternoon of his season because the inward gravity is gone. Whenever there's a breach at left back or any other position, the first thing a certain section of the fan base screams is academy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's United DNA through and through. Trust in the academy, trust in our youth. Yes, I get it. I absolutely get it. And there's specifically one name, Harry Amas. He's our Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year, a technician who carries the ball with that Dorgu style fluidity. But here's a reality check for the start the youth crowd. Harry Amas isn't in the building. As of 4 days ago, he's been sent out to Norwich City on loan to continue his development after a massive stint at Sheffield Wednesday. We also have Godwill Kukonki, a physical monster at 6'5" who can play left back. But throwing a 17-year-old into a high transition Premier League match against a mid-block trap like Fulham is how you break a player's confidence, not how you build a system. If you're going to fix this, we can't look at the youth cloud. We have to look at the legacy hardware already in the squad. And this brings me to Arnab patch. That logic receives 0% of your votes, but 100% of my tactical focus. We aren't just swapping a player, we are changing the security protocol itself. To fix the Dorgu breach, we go to a Licha Maguire Casemiro base. Why? Because Harry Maguire and Casemiro are legacy hardware. They aren't the fastest in transition, but they're the most stable in a fixed structure. The 3-2 rest defense is based on fixed distances. By anchoring them in a deeper defensive floor, we create a fail-safe. This security protocol is what allows Luke Shaw to stop being a traditional left back and start acting as the primary touchline broadcaster. We stop asking Shaw to sprint 40 yards back. We ask him to dominate the 40 yards forward. But for that to work, we have to execute the most controversial move of the season, the Cunha hijack. And now let's talk about the Cunha hijack. Why did this get 0 votes? Because most people see a left wing vacancy and try to plug it with a left winger. That's linear thinking. In Arnab Patch I, sure, Matheus Cunha starts on the left, but he doesn't stay there. He operates as an inverted forward. His job is to hijack the half space, drifting inside to join Bruno Fernandes. And I have said this time and time again on this channel. I have emphasized it before the Man City match. I've emphasized this before the Arsenal match. And this is what you need to do to score those goals in a high intensity, fluid movement structure. Alright? You force the opponent's defense into making split-second decisions. Do I do this or that? And they have to think that and execute it within a split second. And if they lag, that's the part we exploit. We've seen this by exploiting Max Alleyne in the City match. He's a young centre back and we exploited him fully because he's still not prepared for the Premier League and he's still not optimized for making those split-second decisions. We've seen this during the Kobe Mainu sudden pass to Matheus Cunha that totally opened up space for him. Alright, in the last hour's match. And you can't say that about Gabriel. He's a much more experienced, much more stable centre back than Max Alleyne of City. But even Gabriel had to process that split-second decision. Should I stay or should I go? And he lacked for 1 second, and that's all Matheus Cunha needed to unleash that strike. That's what you need to do in this game as well. Matheus Cunha's job is to hijack the half space, drifting inside to join Bruno Fernandes. And in this game, it creates a 4-man creative box that forces Fulham's Joachim Anderson and Calvin Bassey into that split-second decision. Do they step out to engage Cunha and leave Sesko or Mbomo 1v1? Or do they drop deep and let Cunha pick them apart? And this movement is what unlocks Luke Shaw. Because Cunha vacates the wing, Shaw has a clear runway. He becomes the wide outlet without the traffic jam. We aren't replacing Dorgu's pace, we are replacing Dorgu's gravity with Cunha's intelligence. Here is where the system could crash. Fulham under Marco Silva aren't just going to sit there and watch us recalibrate. No, they're there to play football as well. They run a mid-block trap specifically designed to bait exactly this kind of transitions, this kind of movements. Their system controller is Sander Berge, but the ghost in the machine is Emil Smith-Rowe and Harry Wilson. Two very good players at operating in those empty pockets. Fulham want Luke Shaw to push high into that vacated space. They want to trigger a turnover and immediately launch ESR or Wilson into the gap behind Shaw, specifically into the turning circle of Harry Maguire. This is the high risk, high reward trade-off of the Arnab Patch. If we lose the ball in the central transition, ESR will ghost into that left-hand channel before Casemiro can cover. This is where the Lisandro Martinez processor has to be at 100%. Licha cannot just be a ball player in this game. He has to be an elite sweeper. If Licha doesn't anticipate the ESR or Harry Wilson run and cover that space before they do, the Arnab Patch is just a sophisticated way to lose 2-0. So after all this discussion, where do we land? Do we play it safe with that 67% and slot in Mount? Do we gamble on the 33% and go for the Ahmad and Momo switch? None of those. In this cell, in the Stretford standard, we trust the logic of Arnab Patch. We take gambles, high risks, high rewards. My optimum final recalibration for Fulham is the 3-5 hybrid. We run the Licha Maguire Casemiro security flow to absorb the Emil Smith Rowe and Harry Wilson ghost runs. We let Luke Shaw handle the width because frankly his delivery into Benjamin Sesko and Bomo is a higher probability goal than a Mount overlapping or underlapping run. And most importantly, we execute the Cunha hijack. By letting Matheus Cunha operate in that half space, we don't just replace Dorgu, we upgrade the technical floor of the entire left flank. It's a transition from pace forward to creative intelligence. But I am not the only processor in this room. 800 of you were tracking this breach. 67% of you who voted disagreed with Arnab Patch. Shivam, you're officially in the video now. Do you trust the legacy hardware of Shaw and Maguire to hold the line? Or are we just delaying an inevitable crash? Arnab, the floor is yours to defend the logic. So my question to the rest of my viewers is this a permanent fix? Or does Carrick need to trigger a January infiltration for a true Dorgu successor? Comment your logic down below. The server is still running. The Stretford standard is live. Glory, glory, Man United. Leave a like for the Fulham audit coming up. Subscribe to the channel for that notification. And the recalibration is now complete.